My name's Ian West, and I love fishing. And that doesn't even begin to touch how I really feel about fishing. Was born in Port Hope, Ontario. I grew up absolutely addicted to going fishing. I grew up with my mom and dad and my little brother, small town in Ontario. They weren't crazy fishermen. My parents always made sure that I had fishing lures and rods and reels, not new stuff, not the greatest stuff. They always made sure I had bait. If not my dad, my mom would always make sure that I got to go fishing, which was huge for a young man who had too much energy and got into some trouble. My mom and dad really are the ones who made sure I got to go fishing throughout my life. But first, at a young age, my grandmother was the one who really believed that I was going to be something in the fishing world and that I was going to film videos, and she would come look after us while my mom had to go to trade school when I was about 10 years old. And my grandmother was deathly afraid of the water because she couldn't swim, but she always went down to the river and would sit in the car and watch me fish, and she really believed that we should shoot for our dreams. And my grandmother would talk about this, and my grandmother was a very interesting lady, but sadly she passed away when I was 13, so she never got to see any of this happen. The other big influence in my life was my grandfather. He's a very country boy, worked on the farm, but he was very ahead of his time when it came to talking to me about life and, you know, the meaning of this and the meaning of that and being a good person. And it took me a long time after he passed away when I was 25 to really come full circle in my life. So growing up, all I wanted to do was fish, and the Ganaraska River is where I lived, and I grew up fishing down there, and I go to the river every day after school. I got in some trouble at school, and I was very outspoken and that ADHD kind of kid with too much energy. So years and years go by. I spent most of my teens doing teenager stuff, spending my summers working on my family farm. I did a ton of fishing, I did a ton of traveling, I did salmon fishing, and I really hadn't got into bass fishing yet. 2008, I hooked back up with Marley Horniak, who I'd been friends with when I was a kid, but we kind of drifted apart through our early 20s, and we'd hook back up, and I decided I really want to film fishing videos. Marley jumps on board, we start filming, and that kind of leads us to fishing tournaments, and you know, that's kind of how FearFishing got started. We were tournament fishing and filming and doing all kinds of traveling, and we did that for a whole bunch of years. And then in 2012, an accident with my hand, almost cut my hand off in a job site accident, and I missed a whole year of fishing. And that time I had Ashton, I met Amber, Emma came into my life, and things were going really well. My hand, you know, started to feel better. I got out fishing, competed in tournaments, I fished all over the place. And in 2016, while fishing the FLW event, I got diagnosed with 4 blood clots in my lungs, and shortly after that, because I didn't feel any better, I was down in the dumps, I was sick as can be, I got diagnosed with hemochromatosis. I spent a month on the couch pouting and being depressed, and then that's when I decided to start the FearFishing vlog, and I filmed 110 days in a row, share my story with people, but mostly just because I had to get up and do something every day and not feel so sick. And really from there, I met the most important people in my life, the people who helped make FearFishing happen. Without, you know, the group of people I get to spend all my time with, fishing, hunting, traveling, doing the FearFishing vlog, the FearFishing experiment, none of this would be possible. I can't tell people enough how the events between fish mean more than the actual fish and the lifestyle of fishing. It's been a long road to get here, but we made it, and there's so much more to come. I'm going to share my story with you and hopefully inspire you to create your own story, to meet those people and to reflect back and just to fall in love with fishing the way I did.